قرآن واسق حياتي قرآن.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear viewers, inshallah today we'll be discussing and learning 10 more lessons from Juz 8. Let's go to our first lesson.
وَذَرُوا ظَاهِرَ الْإِثْمِ وَبَاطِنَهُ إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَكْسِبُونَ الْإِثْمَ سَيُجْزَوْنَ بِمَا كَانُوا يَقْتَرِفُونَ.
The first lesson we get from this juz is to abstain from open and secret sins. A true believer does not openly or secretly sin because he is aware that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is always watching him and he is never alone. Imam Ali alayhi salam warns about indulging in sins secretly because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be your witness and jury on the day of judgment. So we should be aware, especially when we have mobiles, gadgets, we should not sin secretly.
ولا تأكلوا مما لم يذكر اسم الله عليه وإنه لفسق وإن الشياطين ليوحون إلى أوليائهم ليجادلوكم وإن أطعتموهم إنكم لمشركون.
The second message we learn from this juz is the halal sustenance. There are two messages we learn from this verse. Number one, the slaughter of an animal should be done in an Islamic way by saying Bismillah, so that meat becomes halal. Number two, a believer should say Bismillah before eating. If one does not say Bismillah before eating, then shaitan becomes a partner in the meal and hinders blessings on that meal.
وَجَعَلُوا لِلَّهِ مِمَّا ذَرَأَ مِنَ الْحَرْثِ وَالْأَنْعَامِ نَصِيبًا فَقَالُوا هَذَا لِلَّهِ بِزَعْمِهِمْ وَهَذَا لِشُرَكَائِنَا فما كان لشركائهم فلا يصل إلى الله وما كان لله فهو يصل إلى شركائهم ساء ما يحكمون.
The third lesson we get from this juz is refrain from superstition. A believer is never superstitious in his belief and does not believe in concepts that do not have Islamic base, as superstitions makes the aqaid and faith of a mu'min weak. If actions of a person are not supported by knowledge, aql, Quran or Sunnah, they are superstitions.
كلوا من ثمره إذا أثمر وآتوا حقه يوم حصاده ولا تسرفوا إنه لا يحب المسرفين.
The fourth lesson we learn from this juz is refrain from israf. A believer is always mindful and does not waste resources or becomes extravagant. Imam Sadiq alayhi salam says that extravagance removes blessings from the wealth. And as we know that most precious resource is time, and it must be spent wisely.
قل تعالوا أتل ما حرم ربكم عليكم ألا تشركوا به شيئا وبالوالدين إحسانا ولا تقتلوا أولادكم من إملاق نحن نرزقكم وإياهم.
The fifth lesson we get from this juz is do not kill your children. Allah has made it clear in this verse that do not kill your children or don't abort your children in fear of sustenance, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made himself responsible for providing sustenance to you and to your children. During the days of Jahiliyyah, some people, they used to kill their daughters. When they were asked why, they used to say that we could not bear their expenses. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is condemning this. Allah has condemned and says about these people that He not only provides sustenance to them, but also to their children.
قل إن صلاتي ونسكي ومحياي ومماتي لله رب العالمين.
The sixth lesson we get from this juz is that every action for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A believer does every act for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's sake. While performing minor or major act, his intention is always to get Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's pleasure. Now from this we understand that believers' focus should always be Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and every action what we do should be done for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
ثم لآتينهم من بين أيديهم ومن خلفهم وعن أيمانهم وعن شمائلهم ولا تجد أكثرهم شاكرين.
The seventh lesson from this juz is to save oneself from Satan's trap. Shaitan tries to deviate everyone from all sides, but a believer is mindful and does not fall in the trap of Shaitan. Maybe we are good in one thing, but maybe in some of the actions we are not strong enough, and Shaitan will come to try to deviate from that path. So we should try to stay strong and not to fall in Shaitan's trap.
فوسوس لهما الشيطان ليبدي لهما ما وري عنهما من سوآتهما وقال ما نهاكما ربكما عن هذه الشجرة إلا أن تكونا ملكين أو تكونا من الخالدين.
The eighth lesson we get from this juz is be modest and refrain from nakedness. There are two types of modesty, external and internal. The external modesty refers to our appearance, the way we dress, etc. And the internal modesty refers to God consciousness, which is taqwa. And we know that Shaitan strives to make one get rid of both of them. Therefore, a mu'min takes care of these things and tries to be modest and refrains from nakedness.
يا بني آدم خذوا زينتكم عند كل مسجد وكلوا واشربوا ولا تسرفوا إنه لا يحب المسرفين.
The ninth lesson we get from this juz is observing ethics and manners of prayers. A believer gives importance to prayer and follows its etiquettes religiously. Imam Hassan alayhi salam used to be dressed in his finest while prayers. When asked why so, Imam said that since Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is beautiful, He also likes beauty, therefore I also made my presence beautiful for Allah.
ونزعنا ما في صدورهم من غل تجري من تحتهم الأنهار وقالوا الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله.
The last message we get from this juz is refrain from jealousy and hate. Yes, a believer is free from jealousy and hate as he is aware that these feelings will have negative impact on him. Imam Hassan Askari alayhi salam said that our Shias are free from hate and treachery. Therefore, we learn that a believer is away from both jealousy and hate. These were the 10 lessons. Inshallah, we'll come again with the 10 lessons of the next juz. Till then, wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
رحمن يا رحمن ساعدني يا رحمن اشرح صدري قرآن